I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is a live update from Mississippi Live Weather.
So I wanted to check back in with you guys and let you know the latest on that forecast. We know that severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect until 3:15. Well, it now has expired. So what we're left with is a lot of scattered activity down around that Golden Triangle area and even south of Highway 82. Taking a look at a few of those cells, just as they've circulated through over the last couple hours or so. We'll take it back over the last hour. You see that severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect. I want you to watch what's happening out ahead of it. You see that green line, which is what we call an outflow boundary, and even that latest scan, you can see it developing right there, extending a little bit east. We jump to that latest scan, and this is basically what we're seeing out ahead. This is that outflow that we see right there. That outflow was a big driver in our forecast, but once it started to pull away from those storms really started to diminish in strength, so we haven't seen it at that severe potential for several scans now. So the National Weather Service in Memphis has chosen to expire that warning, and we agree with them there. Also, whenever we're talking about that electricity in the storm, 162 strikes over the last 30 minutes. Earlier, it was upwards of 400 to 500. So that shows you that this is starting to diminish in strength, and our 3D assessment has also taken that down just a bit. But it's not the severe weather threat that we're watching heading into the rest of our evening. What we're watching is going to be that flooding potential. And we currently have a flash flood warning in effect for Lauderdale and Colbert County there towards the northwest part of Alabama. Reason why is because they've seen massive amounts of rainfall. And as it continues to move into Franklin County, I'm going to highlight one specific area that you see right there where we're getting those purples showing up. Whenever we talk about that rainfall rate, I mean, that's going to be upwards of about 2 to 3 inches in some parts. So I want to track that out here real quick and get a look at, where is it? In 1 second. Okay, so pulling that back up, I'm going to get a look at the latest track on that, and honestly, it has very little movement with it. It's kind of extending south a bit, and that's where we just continue to see it develop more and more of a Pleasant Site and Seven Pines. So as we carry that out over the next couple of scans, we don't expect too much movement, really primarily, and I'm going to take a step off screen here real quick to do a storm track on this, but as we take this out over the next several scans, we're going to track that leading edge moving at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. 10 might be a stretch. We're going to take it at 7. And you can see Jordan's Mill by 341, Piney Bend closer to 351, Dempsey 358, and then the Gwynn Crossroads happening by about 411. Basically going to go across Highway 247 onto Highway 24 towards Dempsey. So expecting that here in the next, let's see, we're at 323, so that's 358. 30 minutes. So that shows how very little movement we have. And I'm going to step off screen one more time because I want to show you guys one more product with this. And this is how much rainfall we've seen over the last, let's take it over the last hour. We'll do 3 hours right there. So 3 hours, again, not seeing anything too significant. That's why that flash flood warning is not in effect further south. But if that storm continues to develop right over the top of Pleasant Site, already seen an inch, would not be surprised to see another inch added to that here over the next hour. So those flood potentials, that's what we're watching for a lot of the area. Unfortunately, I know we need rainfall, but this is not what we meant when we said we need rainfall. Expanding things out just a bit, we can see some of those other totals, and this is where the flash flood warning is in effect. The heart of that, 3.6 inches over the past 3 hours, so a very short time frame with a lot of rainfall coming down, and not just there in Cherokee, but also over and around New Hope. That has 3 inches over the past 3 hours. Now I'm going to take things out towards the west just a bit, towards Lee County, because we do have a flood advisory in effect for us here just on the southeast corner of Tupelo. 2.6 inches over the past 3 hours, so not up to Lauderdale County, but just underneath it, which means that we could see some possible flooding, and especially those flood-prone areas. You guys know where those select streets are, where it doesn't take too much rainfall to really start to build up. So if you know that there's going to be some possible flooding, if it usually happens, we'll just expect that with that flood advisory in effect. Of course, if you guys have any reports, please send them in to info@msliveweather.com or send them in on our Weather Watcher pictures. We can forward that all to the National Weather Service so they can better assess those warnings. So that's what we're tracking heading into the late afternoon and early evening is going to be the flooding potential. Even with these heavier showers down south, they packed a punch as well with some heavy rainfall outputs. Highlighting the bullseyes across the area over there in Chickasaw County, 1.94, 2.3 there towards Oktibbeha, and even on the just southeast of Houston, 1.02 inches. Some isolated portions out there towards Eupora, 0.63 inches. We actually got a video from Webster County that was insane when it came to discussing those wind gusts. That was when it wasn't even a severe thunderstorm warning. So the fact that these storms can pack a punch, they can do so relatively quickly as well, and that's why we need to be staying informed and have ways of receiving those alerts. The MS Live Weather app, of course, heavily biased, but I do agree that it gives you the latest information with the quickest updates on that forecast. So let's take it back to precipitation mode so we can walk through the latest on those rain chances, track out a few of those storms. We tracked that one over there towards Florence, more on the way, as you can see, on the far northern part of the state. That's over there towards Tippah and Alcorn County. This is one of our more electric storms, 168 strikes over the last 30 minutes. And as we walk this through the last hour, we can see that has started to build a bit more. So this is one of our healthier storms. And as that continues to push in that northeast direction, we're talking about it reaching the Theo area. I would say 10 miles an hour is a good assessment on that. Theo by about 418, see it on the middle of your screen right there. And heading towards Corinth, let's see if that's 418, 326. We're probably talking at about 5 o'clock, getting closer to Corinth if it continues to move this slow. Now, this could very well speed up depending on how that interacts with that outflow boundary, but anywhere from 4:30 to 5 over and around Corinth, and then heading on east into portions of Tishomingo County as well. So it's not just that storm. As we move further south, once again, it's not a severe thunderstorm warning anymore. Looking at that latest scan, a few of the heavier portions, we're going to track this one out towards Ackerman as it moves south and east at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. We'll carry it about 13, 352 Calvary, Center Ridge 406, and Estes by 412. The one just out ahead of that towards the east side of Louisville, basically Louisville heading towards Macon just a bit. We carry that heart of that storm about 14 miles an hour. We'll see Golson 414, Clearman 421, and Fair Hill closer to 424. One more track, and I promise we'll be tracked out at that point. Tracking that one in northwest Noxubee County, 13 miles an hour, Bloomfield 341, Mount Nebo 408, and Kipling closer to 424. That's some of the heavier portions, but you can see that those scattered showers and storms highlight basically the entirety of Kosciuszko all the way north and east there towards Caledonia. So if you were in any of that southeast corner of our viewing area, expect some more rain chances as we head further into the evening. And if these choose to move a little bit slower, the flooding potential will definitely start to increase. That's one of the things we're watching heading into the night. That severe weather threat, looking at the latest from the SPC, we're not overly high on those severe thunderstorm warnings because we're not even under a level 1 threat. We expand things out, we'll have to keep expanding before we reach anything, and that's primarily going to be over there towards South Dakota and all the way northeast there towards Massachusetts, New York, and Pennsylvania. So here in North Mississippi, not expecting severe weather, but some of those storms, they can pack a punch, and we saw that earlier with Oktibbeha County as that just continued to move south and east. So fortunately, I think we're on the downswing in regards to severe weather threats, but we can go ahead and track out a few of those storms. So bear with me one moment and I'll get this Futurecast up and we can track that out moving into the rest of our evening once more with the latest information from some of our short range models. So again, here's assessing the area right now, but as we take that over to Futurecast, you can definitely see that some of those storms do try to linger just a bit. Some of those over and around Lee County, that's why that flood advisory is in effect, but primarily going to be south of Highway 82 with the heavier portions there by 10. So we're tracking that here at the Room to Room Weather Center. Just the rain chances heading into the overnight. More than likely, we'll continue to track that on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. That is a fortunate thing because we are in desperate need of rainfall, so the more rainfall we can get, the better. We just don't want too much. We don't want those flooding threats, of course. Overnight, staying on the drier side, and we'll continue to see those drier conditions be in place. And so mostly cloudy for the start of our Thursday. A few isolated chances out there towards Belzona and Carroll and Holmes County, but overall, we're not overly high on those rain chances. So we're starting off dry for 90% of us here in North Mississippi, and those dry conditions stick around by 11:30, but then more rain chances move in as we head further into the afternoon. Not like what we saw today, but at least we're getting some rainfall in that forecast. And again, we're in desperate need of it. New drought monitor comes out tomorrow. Interesting to see where we sit at, especially with today's rainfall, but I do expect that to be increased and a little bit more widespread. So of course, we're providing the latest information for you guys here in the next hour and a half on Mississippi Live Weather at 5, and then again at Mississippi Live Weather at 6 and 10. We cannot wait to see you guys there, and if anything requires us to cut in before then, of course we will do exactly that. But we thank you guys for tuning in and staying up to date with what's going on here in North Mississippi on this busy weather day. We'll see you back here in just a couple hours.